Hello, this is Dennis, and this is part of my decommissioning train video. And what I wanted to talk about before I take all of this down is how I did the rock formations. So you can see this wall right here. So the way this is created is it kind of starts over here with plywood. So you can see, there's all the plywood. And I make sure that the track's built up so that it's even. I use styrofoam to make sure that it's level. And after that, I start putting down newspaper, paper towels. You can see that so that I can get the exact texture, height, things like that that I want. And then it's ready to actually put on kind of a plaster, paper mache type material. Here, this was a 5-pound container of plaster. I actually got this from my cousin, Anthony Melvin. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas in one of our gift exchanges, and I told him I would really love a 5-pound bag of plaster, and he got that for me. Thank you, Anthony. I still have part of it. When I'm ready to do the actual rock formations, I use these molds, and you can see there's I have quite a few different molds here, and they have names like facet and weathered and classic and base, and they are different sizes and they have different textures to them. When you actually go, you actually put the plaster in there. You've got to let it dry for hours or a day, and you flip that out and you can see that's the item that went right there. And I flip those out and then I plaster those in. I have my little favorite sculpting tools here that I use to kind of smooth it around and make sure that it's shaped and formed and sticks. The thing you can do with these forms is you can actually flip them upside down, and so you can see those two actually came from the same form, and when you look at them, this one and that one, they don't look the same, and they came from the same form, and it gives you a nice creativity, a nice way to mold these things so you don't get repetitiveness in your walls. That's also a mold right there. That was the facet rock where the ram's standing. I used a number of forms on the kind of the cliff face there, as well as my riverbed. So right next to the alligator, there's a form there that I used. I also used a couple over here where the bear is. So where the bear's standing, that's a form there. And he's actually in the cave. And if you actually look, you can see the cave goes to the other side. Not many people know the bear has an escape. Not that the bear would need an escape, but he does have that. So that's kind of how I did the plaster part. When it comes to painting, I got a lot of help from my niece, Catherine Sargent, and she wanted to know what color to paint it. So I went out and found a rock, just kind of I don't know if this was in the yard or hiking someplace, and said, okay, that's a real rock. And she matched the color and the tone and kind of the browns and the grays and the whites and the black, and she did an outstanding job of painting. She painted multiple places here on the layout, and she did a great job of matching those colors. Thank you very much, Catherine. Next part is how do you ballast track. Ballast is like the sand or gravel that you see next to the train. When it comes to that, there are a number of colors and textures. So over here I have buff, over here I have gray, and depending on the landscape you pick different colors. They also have different coarseness. So that's coarse, medium, and fine. If you look at them closely, you can see the difference in the grains. For the Lionel, I did pick the coarse, and you can see that coarseness matches that. If you don't match the coarseness, and if you have a train like that, those would almost look like boulders. So it wouldn't look good if you had a ballast that was the wrong size. The opposite's also true. If I used a fine ballast here, that would almost look like sand. So you have to make sure you match the right coarseness with the ballast and the train size. So that's a quick video on how I did the rocks and the ballasting.